some students were like, hey, we want to have an organic farm on campus. Because they learned about food. I'm sure they watched Food Inc., saw the horrors about food, and it was really small plots. And from there, it just started to grow, and more students started to come and volunteer. They were more interested.
Last year, we put up the first hoop house. This year, we put up the second hoop house, and I think the goal is to keep expanding it every year, little by little.
There's something here that I think students connect with in really tangible sort of ways. And that's not to say they don't connect with all sorts of other things. This is not to say it's isolated in that sense. But we put up a hoop house, and all of a sudden there was excitement. Oh my word, there's this hoop house, there's this structure, they're growing year round. Well, things changed, but not that much changed before we put up the hoop house and after. And yet everything has changed because the perception of this is now one that, oh, this is successful. This is a successful endeavor.
It's such a wholesome thing to do, to be out here. You're working with your hands, you're interacting with people socially. Building a greenhouse, that's not easy.
This started as a community garden a few years ago. Now it's just exploded.
We sold some food at the farmer's market. Some students did some research projects. We had some classes out here. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, no, this is legitimate. This is important. This is valuable. While this is about food and farming and agroecology and kind of addressing the injustices in the agri-food system, it's also about transforming how we see ourselves and how we see culture.
This is a place where a bunch of people can come and just congregate and have that sense of community. And it's great that we're working for a common goal. And the common goal being developing sustainable lifestyles.
Students today are really concerned with questions of ecological well-being, with the challenge of developing sustainable communities, with the opportunity and challenge that we face of transforming the balance of relationships that exists in many of our communities. Students want that to find practical ways of improving quality of life in their own places. And the work of the SAP really makes a significant contribution to that.
But the way this one works is kind of like that. So you see that? I just killed all those years. What matters is what types of students we are producing. And for me, this won't be a success when it's, a farm that's running really well. I think it'll be a success when it provides a context for students to have that transformational education. I'm less interested in what we actually do here and more interested in kind of the outcomes for students, because ultimately I do care about education. That's the most important part of it. Planting is not something we do once a year and then we harvest once a year. So if you were ever to see one of my crazy Excel spreadsheets or that of any market grower, what you would see is planting and harvesting can be happening constantly.
It offers us an important opportunity, which is to take seriously the challenge of integrating new insights from the fields of environmental studies and sustainability studies into the practice of this institution. So it broadens the opportunities that are available for students to think about how they want to make change in their own professional and personal lives. And it gives them a new chance to explore what kind of contributions they themselves might make to their own communities.
If people come together in that community setting and they're working towards that common goal, then it's more joyful to be together. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about this place, is because so many people are coming together.
I think it's a good place to learn, get some hands-on learning especially.
When you learn by doing, by actually interacting, it allows you to draw the connections between the real world and the content that's being covered.
It's more practical, and I'm able to interact and kind of get a physical understanding of what is going on.
When you're in a classroom, you're just so confined, and when you're out here, it's really free and open.
It's another thing to have the opportunity then to take that classroom knowledge and put it into practice and start to see the connections, to see that in the world, what we think of as separate disciplines are not in fact separate, that they're all dimensions of the same set of problems and they're all dimensions of the same set of solutions. And the real power of the SAP is that it allows students the opportunity to explore those possibilities.